Hey, my needle drops. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. It's Monday, and we've got to do an album review. First, before we do that, I want to say I flushed the mod box because a lot of people were pooping in it. But of course, there were a lot of albums in there that got voted up that I'm not going to forget about. Women, Bats, Arcade Fire. And I harked on this yesterday. Have to hark on it today, too. 1 million video views! 1 million forever.
1 million forever!
I hate Calchuchesta. Thanks, Needle Drops. The Needle Drops. Let's get into this. The Books are a New York duo, and this is their fourth album, The Way Out. For the past 10 years, the project has built a distinctive sound out of outlandish vocal samples, electronic beats, and acoustic instrumentation. The band's first LP, Thought for Food, is easily their most skeletal, while every album after that has kind of worked to fill in the gaps with more melodies, more samples, more instruments, more beats. It's music that's constantly looking for new ways to be catchy and poppy and accessible, while at the same time looking for new ways to be incomparable. This is really what has made the Books who they are, and this tension also powers The Way Out. This album starts in familiar territory for Books fans with just really easygoing chords arpeggiating underneath what sounds like hypnotists talking, therapist, self-help gurus, patients, scientists. I'm not sure. The phrases that are on the opening track of this LP are taken way too out of context to make any real sense of, so it all kind of feels really deep and abstract and just strange. It's clearly open to interpretation, so I don't think there's any reason to get upset for not getting it. Like this first track, the LP is just chock full of these vocal samples that bring an emotion and a personality that literally no instrument could. And neither the voices or the instrumentation kind of take a front seat. They're constantly enhancing each other, the sound of one making the sound of the other so much more powerful. It's kind of in the same way Steinsky's early remixes or DJ Shadow's Introducing or even Godspeed You Black Emperor's music are just peppered with vocal samples that add some kind of surreal level to the music. But don't let me get too bogged down in the vocals. The Way Out has to be the Book's most adventurous album yet, not just for all those reasons I just stated, but because of all the different musical styles they pursue throughout this LP. There's a ton of variety on these tracks. The post-rock swells on IDKT, there's a lot of jazz fusion bass and tight drumming on I Didn't Know That, a lot of harsh buzzing and techno beats on I Am Who I Am. There's cello-powered minimalism, hip-hop beats, and some folk on here too. Not that the Books haven't experimented with folk before, but this thing is very, very all over the place. And yet, it feels like this one big, cohesive, thematic thing. It's an album that tries everything but sounds like nothing. It dabbles in the undefinable. Sitting down and listening to this album is kind of like being in A Clockwork Orange, that scene where Alex has his eyes peeled open and he's being forced to watch that movie of just all these random clips just being flashed before his eyes. After this album, you won't be disturbed, but it is somewhat of a sensory overload. There's just all these sounds, whether they be voices or instrumentation, just kind of flashing before your face. It's kind of like music for the attention impaired, but I mean that in the nicest way possible. The Books are experimental in the truest sense. They are weird, but not for the spectacle of it. They're as strange as they are because they really do want to hit upon something new, something original, something that is unlike any other recording that is in your record collection. And I think they're closer than ever to doing that on this release. This album is playful, it's engaging, it's fun, it's a real roller coaster ride. There were points where literally I was laughing, and there were points where I was just feeling very, very disturbed. And there were moments where I felt like I was just being put at ease. I think Fortet fans are going to love this, Caribou fans are going to love this. It's something that you guys really need to check out. I'm feeling a light 9 on this thing. It's fantastic. I enjoyed it throughout. There were 2 tracks, I want to say, that I was just okay on, but I didn't meet a song on here I hated. Did not meet a song on here I hated. But what do you guys think of this album? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or why? And why? The Needle Drop, the books, the way out.
Forever and ever and also forever.